Hey, listen, brothers and sisters, man. If you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, man. Subscribe to this channel. And also, please, go to ISUPK.com and pay your tithe. Drop me some cash so we can move around this planet like we need to, man, and do the things we need to do.
Everyone west. Everyone west. Everyone west. Everyone.
Hey, listen, brothers and sisters, man. If you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, man. Subscribe to this channel. And also, please, go to ISUPK.com and pay your tithe. Drop me some cash so we can move around this planet like we need to, man, and do the things we need to do.
Everyone west. Everyone west.
Now what that means is, can we, the lost tribe of Israel, reclaim what is rightfully ours from the cave-dwelling white devils that raped our ancestors, stole our land, and dispersed the true children of God across the globe? Read.
Hey! I ain't no devil. This is not the words of Jesus Christ.
Shut your mouth, cave bitch. Yes, you are a cave bitch. Do you know what Jesus Christ called the white woman in the Bible? The female dog. And what is a female dog? Don't be afraid to say it, bro. That's right. A bitch. That's what Jesus Christ called you in the Bible.
How come you're using the King James Bible?
What?
Why is that a bishop? I thought King James was a white devil.
It's King James right here. Take a good look. He looks like Billy D. Williams, if you ask me.
You say so, brother.
Now you might ask, how did the lost tribe of
Hey, hold on. Simmer down. Yo. Hey, all right, y'all. Hey, we got y'all votes in. We got y'all votes in, all right? Hey, check this out. All right, watch this. Here we go. We got y'all with us. Let's go. All right, okay. Oh. Hey, straight out the West Coast, we got my brothers from the ISUPK. Yeah, that's right. Most High in Christ, man. You hear me? Shout out to the ISUPK, man. Both sides, East and West. You know what I mean? Overseas, man. Caribbeans, you hear me? That's right. You know what I mean? Everybody hold your head, man. Passover in 2-3 weeks, man. April 20th. Right. And check this out, though, man. If you don't want bishops twerking in your videos, you don't want your deacons pop blocking in your videos.
No diddy.
You don't want your deacon making Easter songs for your congregation, getting turned in to the police by the police.
That's right.
And come to the ISUPK, man. Man, we gone, man. Shalom.
Man, you gotta do something, man. Last time I was at a church, man, daggone pastor told me he got swallowed up. I got an idea. We're gonna join the ISUPK. We go in there, we do our 90 days. We come in there to go to class, we're all black. After 90 days, we get our Hebrew name. Before you know it, we officers or captains or something. Got 4 or 5 wives. It's gonna be dope. Nigga, you bugging. I ain't trying to go out in the corners, Ak. See? You already talking like an Israelite. Nah, bro, I ain't with that shit, man. I vote no 3 times. No. You only get 1 vote. I vote yes. Let's ask Otis. Cousin. You know this is crazy, man. These dudes be dressing like superheroes on the corner. You trying to do that? Come on, I know you love the women. You can have 3 or 4 wives in there.
I vote yes.
Man, this is crazy, man. This is some crazy shit. Crazy, crazy, crazy.
Excuse me, brother. What's up? Don't I know you from somewhere?
Nah, man. Nah, you don't know me.
You ain't never did radio before, nothing like that?
Nah.
You go to church? Matter of fact, did you do a testimony at the church?
Man, turn around and eat your big ass biscuit.
Nah, no disrespect, brother. You just got a real familiar voice. That's all I'm saying. Familiar.
Listen, man. Whatever y'all talking about, I'm in. We need to go ahead and do that shit now.
Then it's on then.
All right, man. Well, let's get it then.
Wanna look like, wanna act like, wanna look like, wanna dress like, wanna look like, wanna act like, wanna look like, wanna dress like. See that fake motherfucker? Wanna be word.
Okay, brothers, I love the image. Let me ask you fellas one thing. Are you sure you want to join the ISUPK? I mean, there's other groups you can join like IUIC. I mean, purple is really in style this year.
Purple these nuts. We ISUPK. Take it or leave it.
All right, brothers, let's get started. So, I want you to join us, and you want to join us. And we want you to want to join with us. Let me ask you guys a couple of questions. Can you speak loud at camp if you don't have a microphone?
Yeah.
Do you make sisters mad when you go into the women's scriptures?
Yeah.
Do you believe in having more than one wife?
Yeah.
And do you believe in going to the club and being around beautiful women?
Whenever possible.
Do you advocate the use of guns or weapons to defend yourself or settle civil disputes? Okay. Last question. Do you guys respect anything at all?
Not a goddamn thing.
You got a deal. Welcome to the family. Whatever. ISUPK. If you can't trust me, you can't trust us.
This is PPK, and that's called Real Nigga University.
At Reparations Technical Institute, we offer a cornucopia of educational and business opportunities for brothers and sisters to pursue higher learning. Read from the brochure, brother.
Brothers, join us at Reparations Technical Institute and learn hatred for the white devil in a relaxed campus atmosphere where classes range from hatred for the white devil to advanced hatred for the white devil.
Let's go! I want 100, let's go! Above your head! I Majid Shabbat!
Get some push-ups. Hey, somebody. See, I just told a white man what to do. Whoa. Down.
Hey, Shalom, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai Barakadam, Yahweh Shema Adam, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. This priest and also I'm a Wanga Bar Tuesday night brotherhood class, ISUPK, Kentucky, ISUPK, under Commander Johanna. Since 1969, we've been teaching the truth. And the truth is that blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians is the chosen people of God, and oppressors the devil the Bible speaks of. And tonight's class, what we're going to talk about is how Jesus wasn't born on Christmas. So what are we really celebrating? Because for a long time, they've been pushing you to celebrate Christmas by saying it's his birthday, and everybody thinks celebrating birthdays is something God wants you to do, when that's also something God don't want you to do anyway. You feel me? Celebrating birthdays is a sin. If you was to celebrate Jesus' birthday, that would be a sin too, according to the Bible, according to history, according to Jewish culture. Because that's what you got to understand, that if you're going to celebrate Christ's birthday, Christ was a Jew. And then when you look into the so-called Jewish culture, because there's no such thing as Jewish, that's the so-called white man bastardizing, our culture. But if you look into the Jews' culture, and you will see they never celebrate birthdays. That was nothing they never did. That started in Egypt, in Africa. The Pharaoh made himself God that day and made everybody worship him. And then the white man took it on and started thinking it was practical to celebrate your birthday, to make yourself a god every day. So yeah, it's not his birthday. And even if it was his birthday, you ain't supposed to celebrate birthdays either. So like I said, we'll get into what we really celebrating, because it was right there in the Bible, hiding in plain sight. So we'll start off in Genesis 10 and 8. All right, this Genesis 10 and 8. And Cush begat Nimrod. Right now, Cush was one of the sons of Ham. You know, who was Ham? Ham was the progenitor of the Africans. You know, when you look into the Compact Bible Dictionary, it say Ham was the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes. You know, he was the progenitor of all the African tribes, but he was not a progenitor of the Negroes. You know, just because we all got dark skin don't make us all family. You know, because everybody had dark skin at one point until the so-called white man hit the scene. Everybody was melanated. I mean, I ain't gonna say dark skin, but everybody had melanin in their skin. And he began to be a mighty one in the earth. Right. So now Nimrod, he began to be a mighty one in the earth. You know, he became real powerful. You know, he became real famous, you know, for killing and building up his kingdom, because his kingdom was one of the first civilizations, you know, because even though we the chosen people of God, we did not put together the first civilization. You know, it was a bunch of other heathens running around, you know, building, you know, and just really just preparing the earth for us to rule it. You know, because you would think just because they came first that means they superior. And that's why it's a lot of black people that worship Africa, because they think because the African civilizations was started first that means they must be, you know, the epitome of what a civilization should be, when all these civilizations got destroyed. And this man Nimrod right here, he was one of the ones to build like one of the first civilizations. He was a mighty hunter before the Lord, wherefore it is said, even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Lord. Right. He was famous for killing. You know, that's how he got famous, just like the so-called white man. The so-called white man, when you think about him, what he's famous for is killing. You know, he's famous for putting blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians in slavery and keeping them enslaved still right now to this day. That's why we call him the devil the Bible speaks of, because now he's trying to make himself seem like he is a humanitarian, you know, when he is not. You know, like we should thank him for freeing the slaves when you shouldn't have had no slaves to begin with. And this is just like how Nimrod was. Nimrod was a hunter. You know, he was famous for killing. And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel. Right, Babel, that was his kingdom. That's why I said he was one of the ones to build one of the first civilizations. And that's why Nimrod is still worshipped right now to this day. Still to this day, you have Babylonian customs being worshipped in the church. The whole church setup is Babylonian, you know, because he's being worshipped still right now to this day, because he was a mighty hunter. He was famous. He was famous, and he was so famous that they don't want to forget him. They don't want to forget his kingdom. They don't want to forget the stuff that they was doing in his kingdom. You know, they had scientists and people that studied the stars and all that stuff. And still to this day, they worshiping that stuff. All because of him. So you sitting here thinking you celebrating Christmas. You ain't celebrating Christmas. Christmas ain't got nothing to do with Christ at all. Matter of fact, he was born in the springtime. So if Christ was born in the springtime, why the hell we celebrating his birthday in the middle of the winter? Unless we not celebrating his birthday. Unless we celebrating somebody else. You know? And they just masked it off as if it's his birthday just to make it seem pleasant. To make you want to do it. Yeah, we'll drop that. Genesis 11:1. Right. So yeah, that was the beginning of him starting his kingdom. All right, this is Genesis 11:1. And the whole earth was of one language and one speech. Right. So just like it is right now. This how it was back then. You know, after the flood, after the Lord killed all the people on the earth except for 8 people, 9 civilizations is back on the earth, and they back doing the same stuff again. You know, instead of them all living in 8 lands doing 8 things, they all got one language and one speech, just like right now. Right now, you got the Rosetta Stone. The Rosetta Stone. You got anybody can study any language right now and speak to any people. You can pull out your phone app right now, and you could be speaking German. They got earphones right now where if you put them in and you set the settings, if you sit and talking to somebody, it's gonna come back to you whatever language you speak. If they speak Spanish, and your ear is gonna speak English. Remember, this is a real high-tech slavery we in, to where you don't even think you in slavery. You think you free. But now we back again, and the whole earth is under one language and one speech again. Now let's see how great that was. Since Trump say, let's make America great again. Let's make the world great again. We all speak in English. Everybody speak English. Matter of fact, English is the second language in most countries. Most countries, after they learn their language, English is next. Because they know you're going to have to deal with the Americans at one point. And it came to pass as they journeyed from the east that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And they said one to another, go to, let us make brick and burn them thoroughly. And they had a brick for stone and slime they had for mortar. And they said, go to, let us build us a city and a tower whose top may reach unto heaven. Right. So they want to build a tower. Why did they want a tower so the top could reach unto heaven? For the same reason why the so-called white man builds skyscrapers. The same reason why all these heathens build skyscrapers and buildings to the sky. Is to show their power. It's to make themselves look like they God, like you should worship them for being able to build such a tall building like that. That's why they call skyscrapers. Some of these buildings so tall, if you go to the top of the building, you can't even see the ground. All you see is the clouds. And this is the so-called white man. What he did was took from Babylon. That's what we're reading about. For people thinking that we not in Babylon right now, we reading about Babylon in the Bible thousands of years ago, and they doing the same thing all over again. They building cities and building towers, and the top reach unto heaven. And let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the whole face of the earth. And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men built it. Right. The children of men, these is not the children of God. Just like right now today, these all them Arabs in Abu Dhabi, the Russians, the Japanese, the Chinese is building these towers, building these skyscrapers. These people are the children of men. These not the children of God. The children of God don't need skyscrapers. The children of God need the heathens to get their foot off our neck. We don't need a skyscraper. They need skyscrapers so they can show their power. So they can show their wealth, how strong they is. That's why it's a football team called the New York Giants. That's why they named the New York Giants, because of the skyscrapers. They named the New York Giants to show because of the power. It's basically saying like we're giants in the earth. Because they got them big ass skyscrapers and they worth billions of dollars. They making so much money in them, oppressing you. And the Lord said, behold, the people is one, right? The people one, just like right now. That's why I said we living in Babylon all over again. But you thinking you celebrating Christ's birthday in a couple days. And then if you is going to celebrate Christ's birthday, why the hell you getting gifts? The hell you getting gifts for? Shouldn't you be giving gifts to Christ? You're going to put the gifts under the tree, and then you're going to take them. And you're going to play with the toys and get the clothes and the whatever else. When if you was supposed to be celebrating Christ's birthday, shouldn't you be giving him the gifts? Or like I said, once again, well, maybe we not celebrating Christ's birthday. You know, maybe this ain't got nothing to do with Christ at all. And you just as simple as, you know, could be. Never done no research, no studying on your own. You just listening to what somebody tell you. Listen to what somebody tell you, then you wonder why you struggling. You wonder why you going through all this pain. You crying to God at night, begging him to fix your situation. When he done sent people to fix your situation, and you turned them away. People be crying and begging for the Lord to be on their side and to fix their situation and help them and they badass kids. When the Lord done sent you niggas to help and you turned them away because you looking for a white savior. Why you looking for a white savior? For the same reason why you celebrating Christmas, because you worship white people. We sit there and tell you Jesus Christ is black. You don't want to hear it. We try to show you in the Bible he black. You don't want to hear it. So don't go cry and beg to God in the middle of the night to fix your situation. Go beg Trump. Go beg your boss at work. Go beg a white man. Because the Most High in Christ is not white. Like real talk. They're not white. And this they began to do, and now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do. Right. Once all these people come together, now you got the United Nations. You know? Now you got allies, you got nuclear plants and nuclear programs and weapons of mass destruction. You got all kind of stuff going on because now everybody speak the same language and everybody can put their 2 cents in together. And like I said, this is what's happening right now. This is talking about Babylon. This is talking about Nimrod's kingdom. And what we reading is literally happening right now in 2025. And this book was written, come on, man, thousands of years old. These scriptures is thousands of years old. Let us go down and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. Right. This was the Lord and the angels is trying to basically say, look, all these people speaking the same language is not good because they're even more wicked. You know, they're not using the fact that they all speak one language to help the poor, to benefit. They're using it to be more wicked. So the Lord never wanted everybody to even speak the same language. Because if they do, they just going to come together and do more wicked. Look what's going on. Just look in the earth, cut on the news. Cut on the news and you see all these different nations that shouldn't even know how to even speak to one another is coming together and causing more destruction every day. Every day is more destruction, more killing happening, and it's all because they can speak the same language. If they couldn't speak the same language, how could they even do such a thing? It'd be impossible. You know, it'd be like talking to a dog or a cat. You don't know what they saying. You don't know what they thinking. You know, all you could do is guess. And that's how the Lord wanted. The Lord didn't want everybody all together. That's a Babylonian philosophy for everybody to be all together. For everybody to love each other, to love everybody. You feel me? That's why that scripture was taken out of context. God so loved the world. That make you think that God want everybody to be together when that's the exact opposite. God want everybody to be set apart in their own land with their own people. Like I said, that's a Babylonian concept. What's going on in America right now, this melting pot, everybody coming over here, the South Africans, the Arabs, the Chinese, the Japanese, all these different people here, just let you know we in Babylon all over again. Because that's exactly how it was in Babylon. It's talking about it right now. How the angels did not want everybody speaking the same language. So the Lord scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth, and they left off to build the city. Right. So now the Lord scattered all these people into different lands on their own. You feel me? He separated all these people because that's how it's supposed to be. All these different nations are supposed to be separated. They're not supposed to all be together. You got Chinese people talking about Merry Christmas. What the hell are you talking about? Your ass eat cat, rat, and dog. The hell you got to do with Christmas? You know, I thought you worship Buddha. You got East Indians celebrating Christmas. How the hell they know anything about Christmas? They ain't got nothing to do with the Bible. You know, Africa, the second, the first biggest religion in Africa is Christianity. They used to worship different gods for every day of the year. Now the Africans, what? They worshiping white Jesus. You know, you got Hawaiians and Polynesians and people in the middle of the ocean talking about Merry Christmas. That's what I'm saying. Like that's what's going on right now. The so-called white man then re-erected Babylon to where they got everybody doing the same thing, speaking the same language, with the same mindset, and the mindset is to oppress blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. To go into their neighborhoods and oppress them. Open up some businesses, we ain't gonna let them open up nothing. You go open it up and take all their money. All right, verse 9. Therefore is the name of it called Babel, because the Lord did there confound the language of all the earth. Right. So there the Lord confounded the language. So now all these people don't even know what's going on. It's a bunch of confusion now. Instead of order, instead of everybody doing the same thing on the same accord, now it's confusion. So now all these people got to go to their own land, you know, and deal with their people. And from thence did the Lord scatter them abroad upon the face of the earth. Right. So now the Lord has scattered all these people that was in Babylon, in Babel. He done scattered these people. Now the Chinese in China, the Africans in Africa, the Arabs is somewhere, you know, wherever they be. Got the so-called white man in the caves. And that's how it's supposed to be. Everybody's supposed to be in their own land. Supposed to have all the Polynesians and the Japhetic people is supposed to be on them islands that the so-called white man and made into resorts. Everybody's supposed to be in their own land, speaking their own language. But the so-called white man, like I said, he didn't re-erected Babylon. And that's why, you know, the whole earth is in chaos, fighting for oil and gold and power. Because everybody not in their own land, man, in their own business. Everybody got these damn satellites trying to see what everybody else doing. And not being content with what they got. And the real talk, the earth don't belong to none of y'all anyway. Because when Christ returned, everybody going into slavery. For what happened to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Every race of people outside of Israel is going into slavery. Real talk, we served out our punishment. Now it's y'all turn to serve out yours. All this goddamn Christmas shit. They about to make $1 billion in 2 days. Then can't even fix a damn pothole. Real talk. All right, so yeah, this Jeremiah 10:2. Now this now we was in slavery in Babylon. You know, Jeremiah was a prophet at the time in Babylon. Now, this is way after Nimrod. Nimrod is dead and gone. Who we just read about, Nimrod is dead and gone. But now we in slavery in Babylon And check out what they doing in Babylon after Nimrod and been dead for hundreds of years. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen. Right. And that's UPK 101 is to learn not the way of the heathen. We don't do any customs of the heathen. The heathens rock dreadlocks. We don't rock dreadlocks. You feel me? The so-called white woman is known for having blonde hair, so we don't let our women put blonde wigs on. You know? Learn not the way of the heathen. They holidays. These holidays that they made up, Christmas, your birthday, Valentine's Day, New Year's, all that stuff is the ways of the heathen. And Jeremiah say, learn not the way of the heathen, thus saith the Lord, which means this is what the Lord said. This is what the Lord wanted. He wanted us to never be like the heathens and do the stuff they do. And be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, right? Be not dismayed. Be not astonished, you know? Be not astonished. Don't be so, don't marvel and glorify the stuff from heaven like the sun and the moon. Because you know why? Because all the heathens do. All the heathens glorify the moon. That's why the hell they moved the Sabbath day to Sunday, because they worship the sun. Most of these gods that they worship is about weather. You got Zeus, the thunder god for rain. You feel me? So the plants can get watered and the crops can grow and you can eat. You know, and the animals can drink. So now you can eat the animals and stuff. They looking at these things as they should be worshipped. And Jeremiah like, don't be dismayed at the signs of heaven. This stuff is supposed to happen. The sun is supposed to shine. The moon is supposed to shine at night. It's supposed to rain so the crops can grow. Don't worship that shit. Don't worship it. This is how it's supposed to happen. Worship God. You feel me? Obey God. Don't obey the damn sun. Like real talk. Because all these heathens, this is what they do throughout generations. They worship the sun. That's why they got the picture of white Jesus with the damn sun in the background. All you got to do is Google it. He got a sun behind his head. Why? Because you worship in the sun. Every Sunday you go to church. They moved the Sabbath day to Sunday because they worship the sun. It's called Sunday because of the worship of the sun. For the heathen are dismayed at them. Right. The heathens are dismayed at them. They worship this stuff. The sun, the moon, the damn rain, the weather, the animals. They favorite animal they worship. You know why they do it? Because they don't have a God. They don't have laws and commandments. So because the heathens don't have laws and commandments, they worship anything. They'll worship a goddamn frog. If a frog jumped through their window on the day they hit the lottery or something. On the day they crop start growing, a damn snake slithered through the grass, they're going to worship the damn snake and think the snake skin made the stuff grow. Because they don't have a God. They don't have laws and commandments that they was given. These heathens are really animalistic. Like real talk. These heathens are real close to animals. For the customs of the people are vain. Right. They do it for nothing. The customs of the people, they do it for nothing. This is Jeremiah, prophet of God. He's in Babylon. Babylon is the kingdom that was started by Nimrod. So what you got to understand is the Babylonians been worshiping Nimrod since he died. That's what they've been worshiping. He was famous. It's in the Bible. Nimrod was a heathen, but he was so famous that it's in the Bible. That his records is in the Bible for what he was doing and how the Lord had to destroy his kingdom and destroy him because he was bringing all the people together, which what the Lord did not want. And Jeremiah is saying these customs that these heathens do is for nothing. Christmas, they do it for nothing. That's why you even see some Christmas decorations that say Xmas because they Xing out Christ because they know it ain't his birthday. All this stuff, Valentine's Day, New Year's, they do it for nothing. New Year's is not in the middle of the winter time when everything is dead. New Year's is when everything come back to life in the springtime, around the time Christ was really born. These heathens, these customs, they doing them for nothing. And you following them because you a slave. You following these customs of the heathens because you a slave. Your mama was a slave, her mama was a slave, and you ain't breaking no generational curses if you keep doing what your mama and them told you. You keep listening to your mama and big mama and granny. Keep listening to their ass if you want. You're going to end up just like they ass. Real talk. For one cutteth a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workmen with an axe. Right. This was what Jeremiah was seeing. He seen that they used to cut a tree out of the forest. Who else? Now, when you celebrate Christmas, you know, if you want to celebrate it the right way, you got to go into the forest and cut out a tree. See, people that got real cheap, so they just bought a little plastic one and they pull it out the basement every year. That's what my mama used to do. My mama used to have us go down in the basement and pull that motherfucker out. We'd be up all night trying to put that thing together. And we was doing it for nothing. Just like Jeremiah said, the customs of the people are vain, which means they doing it for nothing. But this is what he was seeing in Babylon. They cutting a tree out of the forest. They deck it with silver and gold. And they was decking it with silver and gold. What that sound like? That sound like your mama telling you to go get the tree out the basement and put the ornaments on it. Jeremiah was seeing this happening in Babylon. It's way before Christ. Before Christ ever was born, this is what they was doing. Before Christ ever hit the scene, this is what they was doing in Babylon. This was an ancient custom because they worshiped Nimrod. And they took a tree out of the forest and they decked it with silver and gold. Ain't that one of the famous Christmas songs? Deck the halls with fowls of jolly, fa la 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 la. Why do they use that word? Because that's something they use since Babylon, to deck the tree, deck the houses with silver and gold. That's why that's in a Christmas carol, because that was a word that they literally used all the way back then to describe how they decorated the tree and the house. When was this happening? December 25th. Around December 25th every year, this is what people was doing before Christ ever hit the scene. And Jeremiah just talking about it because he see it and he see it's stupid. That's why he said they doing it for nothing. He said, what are they doing? They going in the forest, they cutting down trees, they decorating it for what? It's only one true living God. That tree ain't alive. That's why you putting gifts up under it, because you worshiping the damn tree. And if you worshiping the tree, you worshiping Nimrod, because that was the whole point of the tree. The tree was an evergreen tree, and his mama felt like, damn, this tree must be alive because it won't never, the leaves will never fall off, even in the middle of the winter. So that's why it was a custom that you take an evergreen tree, you put it in your house, and you decorate it. You decorate it for Nimrod. You ain't doing it for Christ. They fasten it with nails and with hammers that it move not right. Make it so it can stand up straight and don't tilt over. They are upright as the palm tree, but they speak not. Right. This tree. Jeremiah, like, damn, y'all worshiping this tree. This tree can't even speak. Like this tree cannot speak nothing into you. You worshiping this damn tree, and that's what they about to do on Christmas. Same thing they was doing back then in Babylon. They about to put that tree up as if that tree is going to bring them glory throughout the rest of the year. As if that tree is going to make them kids be good. It's going to make them kids obey. You know? You putting them gifts under the tree is going to make the woman want to stay with you. The bitch going to leave you next month. The nigga that he's going to leave you next month. The tree don't speak. But you putting a tree in your house like if this tree is about to save you and give you good luck. They must needs be born because they cannot go. Right. They can't go. They don't have no life. You feel me? They got to be carried from place to place. What type of God is that? What type of God need to be carried from place to place by you? Shouldn't he be able to go and come whenever it feel like it? No, because it's not real. That's what Jeremiah don't understand. This is not real. Y'all doing this for nothing. Y'all do this every year. Every year y'all doing this, huh? Going to go cut out trees, put them in your house, decorate it for what? When the God of heaven and earth he don't know nothing about none of this. Ain't none of this in Leviticus, the 23rd chapter, because that's where all of our holy days is at. Jeremiah, he cannot fathom what y'all even doing. And that's how we feel in UPK when we see y'all celebrating Christmas. We just like, damn, the tree is not alive. That is not going to help your relationship. That's not going to help your kids. That's not going to help you in life. If anything, it's going to make it worse. Be not afraid of them, for they cannot do evil. Neither also is it in them to do good. Right. This damn tree needs you. You thinking you need the tree need you. And the people that's selling them to you. People getting rich because you want to celebrate Christmas. You getting broker. You feel me? You need to worship the God of heaven and earth, because he can do evil and he can do good. But that tree can't help you. I'm just keeping it real with you. And that tree is Babylonian. That is an ancient Babylonian god named Nimrod. They've been worshiping since he died. And that's why Jeremiah, he's sitting there in slavery in Babylon looking at their ass like they stupid. Like, what the hell are y'all doing? And that's how we looking at y'all right now, carrying big ass Christmas trees in the house. What the hell are you doing? You a goddamn slave, nigga. Thought you was free. Everybody keep talking about they free until Christmas come around. To the 4th of July. Thought you was free. I ain't gonna lie to you. Yeah, so that's really that about what we really celebrating. So I'm gonna go to 1 Kings 18 and 17. And it came to pass when Ahab saw Elijah, that Ahab said unto him, art thou he that troubleth Israel? Right, and this so heavy because this was during the time when the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom had split, because King Solomon's sons were so damn wicked, you know. And King Ahab, who was the king of the northern kingdom, he asked Elijah, like, damn, you the one that's troubling Israel. Why is he saying that he's troubling Israel? What was Elijah doing? Was Elijah killing people? Was he hurting somebody? No, he was just telling people the truth. All Elijah was doing was telling people the truth. That's why they hate the UPK, because we gonna tell your ass the truth. You stupid as hell if you going to go buy a Christmas tree. You stupid as hell if you buying gifts for some badass kids and they did nothing but be bad all goddamn year. You an idiot if you buying gifts for that whore. You know the bitch is a whore. She's a slut. She's a goofy. And it is what it is. I'm just gonna keep it real with you. Your mother was a terrible mother. You shouldn't buy the bitch nothing. Your father, y'all always talking about how black man ain't one never in the kid's life. Don't buy that motherfucker nothing. And that's why they say we troubling Israel. The same way they said Elijah was troubling Israel. You know, they call us troublemakers because we're gonna tell you the truth, and the truth hurt. If you celebrating Christmas, you a dummy. You're stupid. You should have saved the money. You should have put it up. You should have put it in a sock somewhere and act like it wasn't never there. But your dumb ass went to go buy all the gifts. The toys gonna break next month. You done bought all them Christmas gifts for them kids. Them kids finna break them toys and be on YouTube. They're gonna be watching YouTube. You worrying about all these thousands of dollars you done spent on toys for nothing. And he answered, I have not troubled Israel. Right. Elijah's like, I ain't troubled Israel. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just speaking the word of God. I'm just teaching the truth, and like I said, the truth hurt. But I ain't troubling Israel. This is the king is telling Elijah this. The king is telling Elijah, you are troubling Israel. You causing all this damn havoc in my damn kingdom. Is you the one doing this? And he like, nah, I ain't troubling Israel. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm teaching the truth. You know, I'm teaching about the customs. You feel me? Of our fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, that y'all not doing no more. Y'all done took on the damn what's her name? Jezebel, Zidonians. Y'all following their customs. That's just like black people today. Black people today they don't even know what their culture is. They think their culture is just rap. Rapping and soul food. That's it. That's what black people, we don't even know what our culture is. That's why they say we troubling black people. We troubling Hispanics because we telling them the truth. You feel me? And your culture ain't no damn Catholic. It ain't being no damn Christian. It ain't being none of that. We teaching the truth about blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, and they say we causing trouble because they want the good niggers to get in, to stay in line. That's what white people used to say. You're troubling the good niggers in our town. Well, so be it. Let the Lord's will be done. You feel me? On earth as it is in heaven. But thou and thy father's house, and that ye have forsaken the commandments of the Lord. Right. That's what he's saying. That's what Elijah's saying. Elijah said, I have not troubled Israel, but you and your father's house, because y'all ain't keeping the commandments no more. And that's all we do. We go out to teach blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians to keep the commandments. That's it. We ain't going to tell nobody to rob or steal or kill or hurt nobody. We tell you to, self-defense. If somebody try to hurt you, you do what you got to do. But we ain't telling nobody to go hurt nobody or do nothing illegal. All we doing is teaching about the commandments of the Lord, because we done forgot them again. We done forgot the commandments again, and that's how we went into slavery again. You want to know why black people went into slavery? We the best on this planet. We the best race of people on this planet. How did blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians go into slavery? Because we forsook the commandments of the Lord. We forgot about God. That's what happened. And that's what happened every time. Every time the heathens get over us, it's because we forgot about God. And now we going out to go teach you about God, to put everything back in order, and they say we causing trouble. And thou hast followed Balaam, right? And thou hast followed Balaam. Y'all following a God and people that the Lord did not ordain. Every time you go vote, nigga, that is a sin according to the Lord. Especially if you voting for a heathen. Because the Bible say don't put nobody over you that's not your brother. And these motherfuckers right here, excuse my language, these idiots right here, they had damn Jezebel, which was the King Ahab's wife. She was basically running the show. He was letting a woman run the show, a heathen woman at that. Real talk. They end up worshiping Baal and Nimrod all over again, worshiping the sun. We'll drop that. All right, we're gonna go into the Apocrypha. This book is one chapter. It's after the book of Susanna. I think it's like the last verse. Hold on, wait. It's the last verse either in Baruch. When you got the real Apocrypha, it's not by itself. It's like at the end of Baruch, I think, if I ain't mistaken. But yeah, it's just one chapter. Letter of Jeremiah 1:70. For as a scarecrow in the garden of cucumbers keepeth nothing. Right. So I don't know if you know. I mean, you probably seen it before if you went on some like pumpkin patch or whatever, stuff like that. But they put scarecrows in the garden, like with a cornet, to try to scare off, you know, crows and other birds that's gonna eat up the vegetables and stuff like that. But it's actually just for show that the scarecrows is not really doing nothing. You know, the scarecrows is not really doing anything. It's just like an extra like hope or security that maybe the birds might think this is a real person and they're gonna be scared to come around. But really, the birds be sitting right on the damn scarecrow, sitting right on the arms of the scarecrow. So are their gods of wood and laid over with silver and gold, right? So that's what the prophet is saying. It's saying like the gods that people worship is just like a scarecrow. It's not gonna actually do anything. It's not alive. And that's the thing about Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians that we take for granted. Our God is alive. You feel me? Like we have the one true living God, the creator of heaven and earth, is our power. You know, he's our power, he's our father. And these heathens, these other nations, the Chinese, the Japanese, the so-called white man, the Hawaiians, the Samoans, all these heathen nations, they gods is like a scarecrow that's just laid over with silver and gold. It look nice, it sound nice. You know, all this Greek mythology and, you know, the Christianity and Catholicism, all this stuff sound good, but it's really just a scarecrow that's just dressed up nice with silver and gold. It ain't really doing nothing. And likewise, their gods of wood and laid over with silver and gold are like to a white thorn in an orchard, right? So these Christmas trees, what you got to understand is the god Nimrod. When you put that in your house, you are worshiping Nimrod. And it's like a scarecrow. It's not doing anything for you. If anything, it's hurting you. Like real talk. If anything, putting a Christmas tree in your house is hurting you more than it's helping you. Real talk. Are like to a white thorn in an orchard that every bird sit up upon. Right. The thorn is supposed to be for protection. You know, some plants produce thorns to protect it from getting eaten. You know, so it can do its job that the Lord ordained these plants to do. But if the bird is sitting on a thorn, then it's not really helping. You know, it's just attracting instead of getting rid of. And that's just like all these religions, all these gods. It's not really helping. You know, if anything, you're just attracting more demons. It's more demons sitting up on you. Instead, you thinking this stuff supposed to be your protection. You think if you celebrate Christmas, God gonna be with you. When really, it's more demons coming to sit up on you. Just like a thorn in the orchard that every bird sit up upon. As also to a dead body that is in the east in the dark. Right. Just like a dead body. You feel me? A dead body can't help you. It's decaying. You feel me? These gods that you worship, it's like worshiping a dead body. It's decaying. You feel me? It's not helping. It's just like a thorn in an orchard that every bird sit up upon. It's just you just attracting demons when you really supposed to be deflecting the demons. These guys supposed to be deflecting the demons, but really, they just attracting them more. They just sitting up on you. Real talk. These gods is like a corpse. They useless. Just like a dead body that is in the east into the dark. Real talk. That's these gods, these Christmas trees, these religions, all this stuff. It's like a dead body. It's useless. You know? Unclean. And ye shall know them to be no gods by the bright purple that wrought up upon them. Right. Because what you got to understand is purple was a hard color to make. So purple being a hard color to make, if you wore purple, that means you had wealth. Feel me? That means you had money, and that means people should listen to you. But really, that's who you shouldn't listen to. Feel me? You see people with purple on, then you shouldn't listen to them. You hear me? Because they putting a purple on to make themselves seem like they royalty when they not. And that's in the Bible. For people to say we always talking about purple, 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 nigga, that's what the Bible is against purple. I'm just keeping it real with you. It say, ye shall know them to be no gods by the bright purple. So you see people wearing bright purple, it's because they're trying to put on a persona that there's some type of royalty, that there's somebody you should follow, when really they ain't nothing. They ain't nothing. That's why they putting it on, because it was such a hard color to make. Now it's accessible like anything else. But back then it was really hard to make. So if you had on purple, that means you was royalty and you was somebody that people should listen to because you might have had wealth. And they themselves afterward shall be eaten and shall be a reproach in the country. Right. And all these people that's not following the Most High's plan, they're going to end up a reproach and a shame. That's what that means. You're going to be a shame in the country. You hear me? You want to celebrate Christmas? You want to celebrate your birthday? You want to celebrate Valentine's Day and New Year's? Well, it's going to be shame that's going to come onto you. And you ain't going to know why. You thinking celebrating all this stuff is going to make you shine, when you're going to end up going backwards, and you ain't going to know why. It's because you're being put to shame for celebrating holidays. When you think celebrating holidays is actually going to fix your situation, when really it's going to hurt your situation. Better, therefore, is the just man that have none idols. Right. Better than a just man. Somebody that's righteous. You know, somebody that's a follower of the Most High. Better him with no idols. He's not an idol worshiper. He ain't celebrating all these gods. Like I said, some people, gods is the calendar. Whatever the calendar say do, you just do it. Whatever pop up on the calendar, you celebrating, you partying, doing whatever. That is not what the Lord wanted. That is not what the Lord ordained. That is not what the Lord wanted you to do. But that's how people are nowadays, because we in Babylon again. And because we back in Babylon, we celebrate everything they did. Everything all these different kingdoms did, we all doing it now. That's why every week is some new day that you got to celebrate. New day, you got to do this. New day, you got to do that, when it's not true. Better, therefore, is the just man that have none idols, for he shall be far from reproach. You're going to be far from shame. If you're not out here celebrating holidays, you're going to be far from shame. I'm just keeping it real with you. You out here celebrating holidays, you're going to be put to shame. You ain't going to even know why. You ain't going to know what's going on. And that, like I said, that's what the Bible, that's in the Bible. Celebrating holidays, you're going to end up being put to shame. Real tough. Lock it. See, all right, we can drop this. Go to we're gonna go to in the Old Testament to Habakkuk 2:15. It's the book of Habakkuk 2:15. Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink. Right. And of course, this is not talking about getting somebody a cup of liquor or a bill. It's not what it's talking about. You feel me? This is talking about basically taking away somebody's consciousness of what they should be doing. And that's why this is a good metaphor, because drinking, you feel me, too much drinking will definitely take away, you know, your consciousness. You know, definitely will take away exactly what you was trying to do. You might have thought you was doing the right thing, you know, but you wasn't clear-minded. You wasn't sober thinking clearly. You wasn't thinking straight, you know. And a lot of what's going on now in America is a lot of people is getting people drunk off philosophy. That's what's going on. A lot of people are getting people drunk off philosophy. But they tell you, you got to celebrate Christmas because it's Christ's birthday. And because you celebrate your birthday, you're like, well, I got to celebrate God's son's birthday. I got to celebrate his. No. That is somebody getting you drunk. Somebody has got you not even thinking clearly. Because like I said earlier, if you was supposed to celebrate Christ's birthday, why the hell you getting the presents? It don't even make sense. Let you know right there something's off. So if it's people out here teaching you to celebrate holidays, this is somebody giving you drink. You know, they're trying to get you drunk off their philosophy. They put us thy bottle to him and make him drunk also, right? You feel me? Everybody out here that's teaching the opposite of what we teach is just getting their neighbor drunk. You know, they both drunk off philosophy. You know, they both, none of them is thinking clearly. They all teaching the wrong thing. And the Bible say destruction to him that do that. Destruction to somebody that purposely teach you the wrong stuff. Purposely teach you to disobey God. Destruction unto him. Anybody teaching you about Christmas is trying to get you destroyed. Anybody that's teaching you to celebrate holidays, they want you to be destroyed. They want you to be hurt. They want you to be suffering. They want you in pain. Because the Lord not going to be with you if you're doing that stuff. You celebrating holidays, the Lord not going to be on your side. And if somebody is teaching you to celebrate holidays, then destruction unto them. Because the Lord is going to destroy them. The Lord is going to hurt them for even teaching you this nonsense. That thou mayest look on their nakedness, right? And that's what people trying to do. People trying to have you exposed. You know? People want to have you exposed when instead you used to have the Lord. You used to be down with the Lord. You was with the Lord. Now you out here looking stupid. If you see somebody running down the street naked, you're going to think they crazy. That's why that metaphor is used. Now you're naked. If you're not following the Lord, you're naked now. So guess what? You look stupid. And somebody made you look stupid because they gave you drink. They gave you philosophy. They gave you their knowledge and you took it in. You took it in and you believed it. And now you're running down the street naked looking stupid. And that's why we say, if you leave the UPK, you know, you might want to go seek some therapy, get some medication. Because if you do anything against what we taught, then you probably got a mental disorder. Like real talk. Probably got a mental disorder. All right, so yeah, we can drop that. We'll go to Matthew 15 and 2. Right, so this Matthew 15 and 2. Why do thy disciples transgress the traditions of the elders? For they wash not their hands when they eat bread. Right. So the Sadducees and Pharisees had a tradition to where they had to wash their hands before they ate. You know, it's not a law. You're not a sinner if you don't wash your hands before you eat, but it is practical. It is clean. It is getting rid of germs. But if you don't do it, you're not a sinner. It's not, nobody's gonna put you to death for it. You ain't gonna go to jail. You know, you ain't gonna lose blessings for it. I mean, like real talk, you should wash your hands before you eat, but it's not a law. We got more important stuff that we should be doing that we're not. And they come into Christ asking him, why is his disciples not washing their hands before they eat? But he answered and said unto them, why do ye also transgress the commandment of God by your tradition? Because that's what's more important. What's more important than washing hands is keeping God's tradition, keeping the commandments of God. You feel me? Because that's what we done got away from. We more worried about customs of the heathens over what God wants. We care more about what the heathens want us to do than what God wants us to do. You know, when we God's chosen people, we more worried about what the white man feels is okay rather than what God feels. The white man tell you happy holidays, Merry Christmas. And then if you don't say it back, they say you rude. But really, what's rude is y'all making people celebrate Christmas when you're celebrating a Babylonian king named Nimrod. This ain't got nothing to do with what the Lord wants us to do. He never wanted us to do it. But you're saying I'm impolite for not saying Merry Christmas back. I'm impolite because I didn't pay attention to you saying happy holidays. I'm impolite, but you're not keeping the commandments of God. You not following what the Lord wants us to do. You eat pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster. You a goddamn sinner. You a sinner, you evil, and you disgusting. But because I won't say Merry Christmas, you're better than me? How dare you say some dumbass shit like that? And that's what Christ is basically telling them. You a dumbass. How the hell are you going to sit there and say, oh, we got to eat and we got to wash our hands before we eat, but you sitting here a goddamn sinner. You are adulterer. You have sex with other men's women. You should be put to death. But the reason why you're not going to be put to death because you the damn religious leaders. And the Romans don't care about adultery. The Romans can care less about a man having sex with another man's woman, just like in America. America, you can have sex with another man's woman and ain't nothing gonna happen but you get a divorce. Or maybe you get frowned upon or some on Facebook. But in God's kingdom, nigga, you're gonna be put to death. You're gonna die. Like real talk. So it's way more important stuff we need to be worried about than the so-called white man's traditions, and that's keeping God's commandments. Real talk. I'm gonna drop that. Yeah, I'm gonna go to John 10 and start at verse 22. And it was at Jerusalem, the feast of dedication, and it was winter. Right, the feast of dedication. That's what we just got up out of. We just celebrated the feast of dedication for the last 8 days. This is in the Bible. The feast of dedication is in the Bible. Where is Christmas at in the Bible? It ain't there. You know why Christmas ain't in the Bible? Because Christ didn't celebrate Christmas. He ain't give a damn about Christmas. And like I keep saying, it's a man-made holiday. It ain't got nothing to do with Christ. He celebrated the feast of dedication. That's what Christ did. In the wintertime, that's what he was doing. In the wintertime, you celebrating Christmas. But when Christ walked the earth in the wintertime, he celebrated the feast of dedication. And Yahushua walked in the temple in Solomon's porch, right? So now he's chilling in Solomon's temple. Feel me? On the outside. 27. Then came the Jews round about him and said unto him, how long dost thou make us to doubt? If thou be Christ, tell us plainly. Right. So it ain't even the fact that they didn't believe he wasn't the Christ. They just didn't want to lose their seat. And they knew if he was the Christ, the Messiah that was supposed to come, then that means they not going to be in rulership no more. And that's all people want, is to be in rulership. That's why people hate when we tell the truth, because they know they're going to lose their following. They're going to lose their congregation or whatever they built up to make some money off. Whether it's a podcast or whatever, a church, a building, whatever they've built up to make some money, when we come around, they see the dollar signs leaving because they know the truth is going to bankrupt them. That's just, it is what it is, because they living off a lie. They living off a lie. Imagine if everybody stopped celebrating Christmas right now. Think about how much more money people have and how more rich corporations will go bankrupt. Like, real talk, most rich corporations is only surviving throughout the year off how much they make off the holidays. Yahweh shall answer them, I told you, and ye believe not. The works that I do in my Father's name, they bear witness of me. Right, the works that he do. He was saying the works that he do bear witness that I'm the Messiah. And the works that we do bear witness that we really follow in Christ. And that if we really follow in Christ, then we follow in the Lord. And that's the whole point. The whole point is to keep the commandments, you know, to live the way the Most High wanted us to live the way the Most High intended us to. And he did not intend for us to celebrate no goddamn Christmas. But ye believe not, because ye are not my sheep. Right. But it's going to be people that don't believe. They're going to hear everything we just broke down tonight and be like, yeah, but I'm still going to go buy a Christmas gift. I'm still going to accept a Christmas gift. I'm still going to go to the Thanksgiving dinner. I'm still going to celebrate my birthday. There's going to be people hear what we said and be like, yeah, I get it, but I'm going to do whatever I want. And you know why? Because you are not his sheep. That's why you don't believe. If you don't believe what we saying, we don't even take it to heart. We could care less, actually, because every man seek his own salvation. So whether you believe us or not, we don't give a fuck, because that means you ain't his sheep anyway. So why waste time with you if you're not even his sheep? That ain't gonna do nothing but bring us down. You know, that ain't gonna do nothing but cause us more pain and a headache. And we could be focusing on the sheep and not the people that believe not. As I said unto you, my sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. Right. So when we teach what we saying, which is really common knowledge right now, it ain't even like what we saying is some super spooky stuff you gotta dig through the library to find. You can pull out your phone and Google half of the stuff we say and see that we telling the truth. But if you choose not to listen to us, that's because you ain't Christ's sheep. You feel me? Because his sheep hear his voice and understand. And right now, we is the voice of Christ right now. He's not on the scene. He woke us up to go out and teach the truth. And if you hear what we saying and you don't listen, you don't believe it, then you ain't Christ's sheep anyway. You know, and you have a good night. You know. What do you say? Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, you filthy animal. It's a lot. Hell no, I think that's on Home Alone, the first one. But yeah, you celebrate Christmas, you an idiot. You a dummy. If you celebrate New Year's, you a dummy. You a filthy animal for real. And you don't hear Christ's voice because you ain't his sheep. Like, real tough. Yeah, but that's in tonight's class. You feel me? Tune in every Monday, Tuesday. Tune in Wednesday night for the podcast. You feel me? Everybody pay your Passover fee, $200. You feel me? ISUPK.com. Pay your tithes. 10% of everything you increase goes to the men of the Lord. You feel me? Y'all by Shimmy, I was shot by the thumb. Y'all was my thumb by Shimmy, I was shot.